Welcome to another session of Endless Legend. I'm Matt, and I'm going to play, I think, the Morgawr. So this is, again, like, I'm hesitant to trash talk this faction, considering how I was so pessimistic about the cultists and they completely crushed the game. And I won, no, I'm not going to say comfortably, we had a struggle in the early game, but I did win the game on Endless, so that's pretty impressive with the cultists, actually. So the cultists are actually better than I thought they were. It's very possible to win with them. So I want to be a bit hesitant when I criticize the Morgwar, but they do have some pretty significant weaknesses. The most significant being they don't have a solid ground or land unit. The two of their units, as you can see, are sea units, which is kind of unique because no other faction has unique naval units. So that's cool when you're fighting sea battles. You have upgraded units. That's pretty nice, but at the same time, it means you're very vulnerable on the ground until you can pick up a minor faction to supplement your forces. And sometimes the minor factions available are just not good fighters. And the real problem is that this Master Iron unit is a support unit, and support units, I guess they're notoriously bad. A lot of support units are like I don't even know what this thing does, but I'm pretty sure it's bad. I think there are relatively few support units that are powerful. When they are powerful, they're very powerful. Like this Proliferator, extremely effective. The Dust Bishop is also a very effective support unit. But in general, the starting support units, like the Mastermind, are just very, very mediocre. It's a good scout, though. It's good for looking around the sea, going up a river, and it has a true sight where you can see, and like it's good for scouting out locations, talking to fortresses and new villages. It's not very good for holding ground. So potentially, if we get unlucky with our starting spawns, like I played a game whereby I was next to a Broken Lords player on endless difficulty, and then they just expanded to all the location where I wanted the third expansion, and by turn 30 they had effectively won, or effectively a powerful enough army to crush me. So that can happen with the Morgawr. You don't have the tools to defend yourself on the ground until you pick up a minor faction village. So you're quite slow to start in terms of land expansion. And that's really the big danger when playing this faction. But they do have some good things going for them. So we start with the ability to... we start with the shipyards technology, which is good because we are pretty good... we're pretty good with ships, actually. Our units can easily turn into ships. We can embark, disembark, without having to have that cost the rest of our turn. So we're really good at moving around the sea in general. Pretty uniquely for most factions. Like, we rather want to explore the water in the starting turns than the land with this faction. Which is really cool, actually. I really enjoy the Morgawr for that. They're really unique. If you just like the idea of exploring the sea, then I recommend just picking up this DLC, playing as the Morgawr on like an easier difficulty, just to get that sort of joy of exploring the sea with exploring the new sea content. It's pretty fun. Well, it feels quite different from, well, it feels like more exploration than the main game. I've been doing that a bit less now because I'm trying to like win the game in preparation for these Let's Plays. Our bonus from the Dust Eclipse is that we get 4 bonus movement speed on water, which is really relevant. Fleets tend to be reasonably slow and they need to cover a lot of space, so during the Dust Eclipse we can really get our fleets or sea explorers into good positions very quickly, get our settlers over to our new locations very quickly with the Dust Eclipse. Now the real draw to playing this faction is this Hydrophilic perk. We get bonus bonus industry and science on sea or lake or river terrains. So that's really good. We're consistently getting decent starting spots. Not necessarily amazing, but our colonization options are always at least decent because of this perk. It's really a big draw to this faction. It adds a lot of consistency, which is what I like about the Kapaku. Volcanic terrain consistently is very powerful, although the Kapaku are definitely more I don't know if I say more powerful, but a faction I feel like more comfortable winning with. They're definitely a bit better. But so this adds a lot of consistency. And we can do some fun stuff with influence, like we can make pacified villages hostile again. We can Catspaw, which means take mind control, minor faction armies. And we can use the blacks. We can apply the black spot to another empire, meaning that their armies are vulnerable to be attacked by any empire, and they get a dust boost. So it's a small incentive, and it's a nice way of messing with the faction you find annoying. We are committed to playing on the sea, though, not just because of this movement restriction. We're much better at moving on the sea with our units, but also because we can only use trade routes on the sea, so we can't get imperial highways, and we can't get cargo docks sooner, which is nice, because cargo docks are going to be good for us because we're always going to settle in the sea. So again, long story short, Morgawr faction I really enjoy playing. I really enjoy going to the sea. I enjoy this hydrophilic bonus. The downside is we have to be very worried about another faction just crushing us on the ground before we get that kind of our defenses settled or in good position. Let me make sure the world sizes. I kind of feel like I want to make the world a little bit larger, just because if the world is larger, it means that it will be easier for us to avoid getting crushed off the board by another faction. Oh, I limited it to Pangaea, that's why that happened. Let's just make it random, and let's just take our chance with a normal world size. It's possible this playthrough will be over relatively quickly, because we'll just get a bad spawn location and won't be able to defend ourselves. That's just the problem of endless difficulty. I mean, just going to deal with it. I forgot to choose the color for the faction. I guess blue is fine for a sea faction. I guess green is pretty cool as well. Now, as we're going to see in the cinematic coming up, the Morgwar are quite antisocial, to say the least. It's kind of cool they have a sort of collective consciousness, though that kind of makes the heroes a bit difficult to explain. Like, how do we have a hero if we're all the same in a way? Yeah. I just say Morgwar, I mean Morgawr. Yeah. This art is pretty cool. There's also this Leviathan back there ready to like chomp some people. Though funnily enough, we don't really have these militia units in the game. Well, we do have the militia units, but they're just defense cities. They're not going to jump people in boats. So sadly, this can't actually happen, which is sad because it looks awesome. I guess if we have boarding ships and kind of jumping people like this.
Luckily for Riga, they sleep. We didn't understand them. Didn't even know where they came from. We couldn't control them. So in desperation, we contained them. What if they break free? With that power, hatred, and paranoia? Then Auriga will weep. As she has never wept before. Tears enough to fill the salt seas.
So cool. Now let's look at our starting location. Okay, there's a dragon player in the game. Oh, this is nice. So it looks like there are some anomalies close to our starting location. And we also have these nice 5 water tiles. The water gives us, as you can see, a lot of resources. It doesn't give us that much food, weirdly, but just having water is great. And also having a river tile here is great, because river tiles connect very nicely with the sea. Because you always start at the sea of the Morgawr, and then if you get a river tile, you get the bonuses from the river and the sea tile on this tile, for instance. Let's just search that first. Now, I kind of want to get this, because food is something we do have to worry about as the Morgawr. These tiles are great for most things, but they're a little bit less great for food. But before we settle, we don't have to, but we can just move out our scouts. As you can see, the scout is a little bit better when you... Or, I don't know, the scout or the mastermind. It's basically a scout unit, come on. I rarely use these things in my armies. Mostly because the benefit, as we'll see, is not that great. Like, their buff it's a pretty substantial buff. I mean, 30% damage, initiative, battle movement. But it comes at the cost of 15% life, so it means you're not really going to get those battles where you just steamroll the enemy, which you kind of want on endless difficulty. So we're gonna just send them and scout on the water. They get 5 movement on the water via their boats, so they're better water scouts than they are land scouts. Similarly true for a hero, but they're even better on rivers. It's, costs 0.3 movement to move up rivers. I think we're going to send our hero up the river. And we just want to scout around this region to make sure we're not missing a better location to land on. We can get this. Maybe not a bad choice. One important thing is that we need to check out the seas at some point so we can capture Fomorian fortresses. But actually, it's kind of weird. The main quest punishes you for getting a fortress too soon. Because sometimes you collect little fortresses in the sea and you're supposed to capture one by force, but it doesn't count if you really captured it. So annoyingly, capturing a fortress this really soon can punish you with the main quest. And that's bad, because the main quest is important. Completing it is important because you really need it if you want to get the wonder victory. As you can't get the wonder victory on it. Like, it's absolutely imperative. Okay, now that I've moved with our scouts, I have the best possible idea of what this region looks like. I want to think about my sample. So here is a decent choice for food. Well, it's actually a really good choice for food. Although, a bit worse on industry dust. This might actually be the best choice. Now we're losing on a substantial amount of industry. If we go here, we're getting a ton of industry but less food. The question is, what do I value more? Extra industry or extra food? Here we're not getting that much food. We're getting 6 food. Yeah. So this tile gives us this tile and this tile, the 2 big choices, I think. This is going to give us 14 and 5, and this is going to give us 5 and 16 respectively. So we're getting a bit more industry out of this, and also a bit more dust out of this. So I think this might be the best sample. Although we can definitely bounce around, collect these 2 locations later. And also the river tile is nice to have, because from the river tile we can get bonus dust production from the river, but here we're going to have 5 water tiles if we get the dust upgrade. I'm talking about this upgrade, by the way, starting from unlocked. We can get 3 bonus dust per tile here, and then we can really get our dust economy rolling. So I kind of feel like this is my preferred location. That's probably closer than it looks. Okay, I wouldn't fault you for picking up this tile actually, but I'm going to go for this now. And we'll just get food. We'll just prioritize picking up food upgrades for other stuff. Yeah, our food population is a bit anemic, but it's fine. We're picking up Founders Memorial really quickly. I guess I want Mill Foundry, but I also want this language square to negotiate with other minor factions as quickly as I can. I'm gonna get Founders Memorial. Actually, our industry production is good enough that I think I can go for language square first. And then get Mill Foundry after that. And then after I get Mill Foundry, probably Public Library, because our science production normally lags a bit at that point. We're getting a ton of dust, so we shouldn't struggle buying these things out, to be honest. If we're buying them out at that point, what are we going to spend on? I guess we can pick up a Borough Street even. Like, the quicker we can get over here, get these food upgrades from this thing. And also, we want to pick up as many sea tiles as we can. So if we expand in this direction, we can expand here. We expand here, pick up this, we get a lot of sea tiles. And really, I think we want to maximize the sea tiles we get. As this faction, we don't want to care that much about triangulation or whatever. Triangulation being the easiest way in the game of just making sure your districts are leveled up, meaning your happiness is high. But yeah, with the Morgawr, we're more concerned about maximizing this hydrophilic, and we'll worry about the happiness later. So we're very happy that we're free, obviously. So the Morgawr is... The main thing with the Morgawr is that they're really paranoid of being locked up again, because as you saw in the starting cinematic, we were locked up. And so we view other civilizations as things that we need to control to avoid that fate. There's 2 rivers I could potentially follow. I think that river is ending there. We can go up this river, just scout out this this location. Okay, there's another river there, so I can jump there. Really, it's fortunate that we have access to rivers here, because rivers are a great way of us. They're really the only way we have of exploring inland without becoming really, really slow. Okay, if we colonize this region, we get a benefit. That's nice. I do want to pick up this language square as soon as I can, so that I can negotiate with minor factions. And what getting language square, the reason it's good early on is not that you need to pick, this is something I gradually realized, it's not that you necessarily need to diplomacy all the minor factions in your area as fast as possible. It's more that you need to, the sooner you get it, the sooner you can parley with these people, the sooner you can commit your scouts to doing other things. So it's a way of getting more utility out of your scouts later, instead of having to just move them back and forth, etc. No? So in that way, it's really good. Oh, this is Hidden Springs would be nice, but I guess we can even still expand here. There's so much water in this region. This is a great start for us, I think. I'm really happy. I guess I could even just get this right now. What does Founder's Mineral give us per turn? Bonus dust, bit of extra food, bit of extra industry, bit of influence. Yeah, I think why not? Let's just accelerate our production here with that Founder's Memorial right now. Because we have food starters a bit anemic, I'm going to put workers and food to compensate for that. Unlike in Ender Space, industry isn't the be-all end-all. It's good to have industry or food, ideally both in your starting location. Because food will let you get more workers, which will help you get more industry to get your stuff. And industry will get you more stuff while you can divert workers to food. They're both quite important. Especially, I sort of noticed this as I was playing, and then I was struggling too much after expanding because I was running low on food population on my main system, or my main city. And then I just gradually figured out that it's really important to have enough food production that you don't get kind of blindsided by that development. Okay. Question is, what do you want to do here? Do you want to move all the way up here? Yeah, I think we can talk to this Delver village next turn, and then we'll be able to move. What does this do? Okay, we lose life when entering this location, but it's percentage of max life, so we're not going to die from this. And next turn we can just talk to them, and then either move past or bounce back. More likely we're going to bounce back, talk to this location. This seems like a good settle because it's connected by the sea, very close to us. Again, we care more about sea than we care about land with this faction. Very unique, I really love them for that. Oh, it looks like we're a bit disconnected from other factions. That's great for us. This is really the kind of start you want with Morgwar. Morgawr. I don't know why I say Morgwar all the time. Morgawr. This is really what you want with Morgawr. Like, it's very important that you're able to like just be defended in those first couple of turns, because you're kind of vulnerable at the start of the game. You need some time to set up on land. And you prefer not to have to worry about other factions that will quickly crush you, because you're not good at playing the land game. You want to play the sea game. I feel like I wonder if it would be easier to play Morgawr on multiplayer when people like human players are less likely to just crush you off the board than the AI is, I guess. But maybe that has its own challenges. I'm not sure. Should see about joining some multiplayer matches to test that out. I'm not getting that much extra out of putting this work in anything else, so I guess I'll just accelerate this dust filtration. That's another nice thing. You start with this dust filtration, you don't have to invest science into it, and using that you can get a ton of dust out of your starting location. You can really get the sort of weird early game dust economy going, which is so often so bad. This location is not bad. We can even start here. This is a good spot because we have the river. Although being at the sea with our city is ideal, not just because of hydrophilic, but because of because of sea trade routes. God, that took me a long time. Let's party with these people. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. It's possible we get a quest that's not easy to do, but we have the dust to spare, so I feel like a 1 in 3 shot of making this region pacify easily is probably worth. I need to bring up glass steel. That's irritating. Don't have a glass steel. We can continue investigating ruins and hope to pick one up there. No, one up, but pick some glass steel up basically. And also, uniquely, we're kind of interested in settles that are on islands and stuff. Kind of interesting. It's part of them. 8 emeralds. I would give you emeralds if I could, because emeralds are garbage, but we lost some more life. Doesn't really matter. This is not a military unit. Yeah, okay, so this seems like the easiest to convert, but it also seems like irritatingly far removed by sea. At least it's connected via rivers, so we shouldn't worry too much. We can easily get the settler over there. I'm just worried about supporting that city. Speaking of the hero, I haven't talked about this that much. So the hero has a pretty unique tree for the faction. It's a support hero. It has this ability to turn our units to bombs, which is kind of neat, I guess. But if we're losing units, we're probably trading inefficiently. Now, the Morgawr hero has this Ancient Marina, which is probably its best perk. And at level 3, it basically turns our hero into an insane sea battle unit. Like, it can single-handedly capture fortresses. It's really powerful on the sea, basically, even when embarked. So, this is a good hero for picking up fortresses. We can also use them as a pretty decent... It's not a great governor. I mean, but getting happiness bonuses... These are substantial happiness bonuses, and all of our tiles will have oceanic exploitation. We can also get reductions on naval units. So, it's not... Ideally, this would be an admiral. It could also be a governor if we felt like we weren't going to see fortresses. But if we're seeing fortresses, we're picking this Ancient Marina up, and we're going to capture those fortresses with this hero. We can always transition into something else at some point. But plan A is admiral. That's how I feel about that hero, at least. That Ancient Marina perk is pretty good. Okay. We're just going to collect this. Yeah, it looks like we have this kind of start, which... Okay, then we'll negotiate. Assholes. We got glass steel, that's great. We can go back and collect this village. And now we have a village next to ours, which is very easy for us to capture. Although it has volcanic taint, because it's on volcanoes. So that is kind of irritating. Although pacifying the village is not it's not that bad. I should have thought about that first. Maybe the volcanic taint means that it's always incorrect to capture that. So ideally we don't really meet other civilizations. This is a weird thing that if you meet people in this game, they hate you. That's a bad way of explaining it. Basically, as soon as the AIF is aware of you and you share a border, it's likely to try and make a move on your territory or something. I guess we're just... Let's pick up this one turn, but we do want to put workers on the food production side of things, if we can. I almost want to pick up a seed storage first. I'll see what is easiest to do. Because our food production is not amazing. We're going to need food if we want to colonize new regions. I forgot what this Icarus quest was about. Oh, it was the emeralds thing. Oh, screw emeralds. I hate emeralds. Let's get this mill foundry. It won't actually speed it up by that much. We don't have that much to pressure out, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Now, the question is, do we want seed storage, or do we want public library? They're both defensible. Public library will help us get other stuff out sooner. Seed storage will help us build up our population on our main system, or main town sooner. And I think that's kind of what I'm into at this point. Our starter is pretty good, meaning that we can afford to go for the seed storage first, I think. Because we have so many seed tiles, we're just getting so much science there, so that's worth it. I'm just going to talk to this village. This seems like a decent settle location. Well, these anomalies would be way more exciting if we weren't Morgawr. Actually, it might be worth it just to pick that up and then go to the sea next. Wherever the sea is, we have to keep scouting. It's possible there are no fortresses in this game. That'd be sad, but it is possible. I guess I want to talk to these people first. That ruins isn't going away anyway. Okay. I want titanium. would be nice if there were fortresses though. This region is good for us, it's just that the volcanic taint is really bad for us and the food production is significantly harmful for us. Although, I'm kind of talking myself into it. These tiles aren't that bad. Although, yeah, the loss of food is annoying. We'll probably try and get other regions first if we can. Like this region. Weirdly, even though there are 2 anomalies here, we'd almost rather want to just go to the sea over there. Pick up these tiles. These river/ocean tiles are really strong. And as you can see, our dust economy is really powerful. I think the Morgawr are kind of unique in this, that they can actually build up a dust economy early. I guess the Broken Lords sort of can, but they kind of have to as well. Okay, 50 dust, again something we can pay. Okay, with a hero-led army we get to this location. We'll snap our hero back. You can teleport the hero by reassigning them, unassigning them. Again, kind of common knowledge. I'm going to hold off on this ancient marina. I haven't seen any fortresses. It's possible there are no fortresses in this game, which would be sad. But it would also make this ancient marina perk kind of dead. Though it's never really dead. Getting oceanic exploitation is something you want if this is a governor. Yeah, I'll talk myself into it. Can't be that bad. Oh, interesting, they have spying 3. Most other empires have spying 2. I guess the Morgawr and the Forsaken, sorry, the Forgotten. Oh, good. I keep missing that. The Morgawr and the Forgotten have spying 2. Kind of unique. Spying 3. While almost all other factions have spying 2. No, sorry, the Forgotten have spying 4. Every other faction has spying 2, and the Morgawr and the Dust Trader people, what are their names again? Got their names. Oh, there's a fortress, excellent. So yeah, I don't have to worry. I thought there were maps about fortresses for some reason. But it appears there aren't really those maps. Let's just keep scouting with the hero. We're going to snap them back to complete that quest. We definitely want to get this region, if at all possible. So that quest is great. It's really close to us by sea, and it seems to be inaccessible by land. Those are 2 things we're really into. Yeah. I can almost just get a settler right away. Although getting settler reduces our food production. That's not great. We don't have to rush the settler. Remember, getting a settler will set our food or production on our main system back quite substantially, so we could rather just secure those regions and get settlers later in the game. What did I have to do with the Serotan again? I think it was titanium. Yeah. Right. Yeah, this is a good start. Won't lie. This is good that my luck holds, because this faction is quite start dependent. And this is a good start specifically because of the way our faction is. Like, very vulnerable. Now we want to get back here so we can convert this minor faction village. The question is that something you can realistically do in a couple of turns? This scout actually has a better opportunity to get back there. So I guess this scout can do something more productive in this direction. Speaking of which, let's just make sure we talk to this fortress. We can also try and capturing it immediately for a hero. And then get some glass steel from it. Also get some extra influence production, which is valuable at this point in the game, to be honest. Here we have level 1 Ancient Marina. So I kind of feel like doing it. Although I can't actually remember if the hero is good enough to take on 2 random boarding vessels. Oh! There's no time like the present. Maybe it was worth waiting there, though. That quest is also very easy to do. What does this fog bank do? What is defense against range attack? That's not great for us. I'll bounce back and then target this, I think. It turns out we can't. Whoops, this is potentially a massive blunder. So hopefully they can't actually kill us with the prescribed amount of turns. No! My hero sunk. That was pretty disastrous. How can I get them back? So that was overly aggressive on my part. Oof. We can actually buy them back, hilariously enough. Despite that massive blunder. This is like the second time I've lost the hero in one of these Let's Plays. Like, I think it's I think it reflects a bit badly on my play. I overestimated or underestimated how easy it is to capture those, and I definitely paid the price. But despite that, I think the start is good. Despite having lost, yeah, all good. I make so many errors when I play this game. But it is a nice start, so I don't feel like restarting. Now we can reassign this hero in 5 turns. That's fine. In 5 turns we'll have talked to this. Got that settlement. Let's get some seed storage going. And I guess get an upgrade like... I want to build up our food population a bit before we... I want to build up our food production a bit before we start out. Losing that dust was terrible. Like, I really overstretched there. Although late in the game the hero is capable of doing that, so it's just that you need to be level 3 or 4, ideally. Yeah, just keep making these blunders. It's kind of entertaining, to be honest. Let's see if I manage to win this. I probably will be. If I win or lose, it won't be because of that mistake. Although obviously it did for no reason. I did for no reason hurt my chances in that section there. Oh, is this on fire? Oh, interesting. So if we walk through this water, we'll take damage. I don't know about that. Just pick up seed storage here. Hopefully that helps us get a 3rd population way faster. Yeah. It's definitely a big contrast between how I play in this space to how I play in this legend. Oh, maybe I'm being charitable. I feel like I play in this space to block better. Yeah. It's just false consciousness. Okay, now we're picking up extra populations reasonably quickly. And we'll get 4 extra populations, then we'll talk to this village, get that extra population by getting this emerald, and then we'll have 5 populations just as we're building a settler, which is pretty solid. And we can get the settler on this region pretty easily. After I get public library, I can pick up either empire mint. We don't need it as much because our dust production is already insane. Like, despite my earlier complete misstep. I guess I can get this happiness upgrade. It's never going to be bad. This is also very nice, branching wave. I want to avoid these extractors. I want to use these things instead. These things. I want to try and use the Fomorian areas instead. Now this weather report is pretty easy to get comparatively. But we do have to worry about the dust eclipse right now. Let me just go to this temple ruins. And we can pick up a bunch of temple runes in the near future. Here's another temple rune. Excellent. So that unit is well positioned to get some temple runes. Looks like the map is a very island-centric map, which is good for us. Oof. Just still reeling at that blunder. Some pretty intense mistakes. I mean, sometimes, I'm not sure, let me know how you feel like, but I almost feel like that makes for a better viewing experience. Because I was like, oh shit, that bad thing happened to them. It's kind of nice in a way, because then they're like blunders, but also good decisions, and then somehow that makes the viewing experience more fun for me. It's like clever moves, but also like not so clever moves. Okay, let's search this twice. We're getting a lot of dust. And despite everything, our dust production is very high. Can't even afford to, burn dust on heroes. Public library, and then sewer system, and then Vor. I guess we want mercenary marketplace a bit sooner so we can buy a governor. And we want Empire Mint, but we also want this Vor for our main quest. Does that mean we delay the Empire Mint? I'm not even sure. I guess public library, and then I want sewer system, and then I want Empire Mint in all of my cities. And then I'll decide afterwards. I do want both of these upgrades. I think it's perfectly fine to get more upgrades from tier 1, they're kind of important. The thing about Empire Mint is it's going to help us through the winter when our drainage system isn't going to work, or whatever this thing is called. But, it's going to help us for the winter, and then afterwards it's also going to help us with... it's going to help us like multiply this dust effect even more. It's pretty strong. The Morgawr theme is kind of sinister. Dig it. Let's just send this down. Another 80 dust. That's great. I mean, if we get Breakball randomly, that's fine. That quest gives us Breakball, by the way. It's a pretty decent shield. Well, that's kind of like low tech tier, so it's not a huge priority. If we miss out on it, we don't be like, oh no, life is over. We'll be like, oh, okay, that's okay. I guess we have so much dust that we can consider buying out a hero from the Mercenary Marketplace. It's kind of funny how much dust we have, considering I just wasted 126 effectively. But yeah, I wasn't punished. I don't mind. We don't need the extra population, you run away. Dump it in dust or in science. Okay, let's put it in science. Actually, considering how long this is taking, I'm not going to go back. Oh, I have the public library already, never mind. I was like, I'm going to go back and get public library, but I haven't, so... I might want to more aggressively spend this dust. As you can see, we can really float across the oceans. Not float, obviously. We can really glide. Glide is also weird because we're not birds. We're like, whatever. We can really quickly move across the oceans, which is why this army is so unfortunately situated here during a dust eclipse. I can just unassign this hero and reassign them to the city, or creating army on the city. And I can go and pick that up and then run to that side to get the Eclipse Temple. Probably should have been doing that earlier. Wait, that was... No, I thought that was the movement half-lux. Ugh! So many blunders. Well, I mean, despite that, we're doing really well, yeah. I'll blame it on the fact that it's reasonably late over here. Okay, we're going to pick up Breakball and bonus science here. I mean, nah, I shouldn't feel that bad about a mistake. It's not like I'm playing this game as an example of how you should win or how you can win on the hardest difficulty. This is kind of just a let's play. And treat it like basically you should expect some mistakes. Okay, we can get that in 2 turns. We can also just cheat out a settler, but that costs an intense amount of dust, which we might better want to spend, or rather want to spend on heroes. Yeah, let's get that. Yeah, talking to fortresses is kind of important, but not something we have to super prioritize. I guess I'm going to go to the lightning here to end the turn on one of these. Okay, here we can actually use these ships. Oh, this is the mind control thing I was talking about. Cat's Paw. We can activate this to turn these ships into our armies. And I almost feel like I want to do that just to pick this up. Yeah, we basically can pick up this fortress with this fleet. Like I was saying, you can do the quest for the Morgawars, but I think, in my experience, they're actually quite difficult to do. I mean, sometimes you get lucky and get a good one, but I'd rather make sure I explore this land region, have a lot of minor faction options to assimilate. So here we've got the Chris, the decent assimilation option. Here we've got the Dogeshi, the Delvers, and here the Jotus. Jotus are probably the best choices in army units. We probably want to get this place at some point because of that. So yeah, I found that focusing on the land at the start is almost better because you're... Wait. Oh yeah, here, we went over the lightning to complete that quest. That's not me messing up more, I promised. So, that was actually intentional. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to attack this with this fleet. Either that kills this fleet, but more likely it kills this garrison. In which case, we've just gained a garrison. We've gained a fortress. Also, the other reason why we don't have to gain fortresses that quickly is because fortresses are actually not that great early in the game. They become a lot better. That was a really lucky roll. They become a lot better later in the game as more technology areas are unlocked, because the benefits you get from fortress are dependent on how many technology areas have been unlocked by the fastest, the best technology faction. So frequently, it's going to matter. It's actually good that we lost the ship there, because these ships, because they're cat's paw, they have high upkeep. Not like I don't want to use them because of that, but I do want dust upkeep as well. So here we get titanium, which is nice, but if this was a higher tech era, we'd be getting these extra unrevealed facilities. We can actually send it this way. Oh, not through the lightning. Or we can send it that way. Whoops, and now I ended up on the lightning anyways. Alright. Definitely not my... definitely not the most blunder-free playthrough, but at the same time, we're doing really well. So it must be doing something right, I think. But I think maybe it's partly just that the start is so good. Having played with Morgawr, I sort of understand that this is really the best start you can sort of hope for. Now winter happens, and winter is bad for us. And winter is primarily bad for us because... Yeah, it's mainly bad for us because we struggle so much producing dust when our dust production is cut down. We really want this extra dust from the Seal Lake with this upgrade, the dust filtration, but that's only active during summer, so that's really awkward for us. Yeah, I'm just going to get both of these, I think. Bonus science is nice. Unit cost reduction is not that important. Bonus dust is probably important. We're going to have to put some units or some workers into dust. Whoa, that takes a lot of workers to make us dust positive here. Let's see what heroes we can pick up. Maybe we can pick up a hero that helps us with dust problem. So, Broken Lord heroes tend to be best with dust. Strike's Far is a pretty solid hero because of the industry and food boosts. Necrophages are surprisingly good governors, actually. Bonus to food production, unit cost reduction is impressive. And this percentage bonus to food production. And food is very important in this game. And also these boosts are quite substantial at the start of the game. To make sure our starting city is quite powerful. I could think about a Broken Lord's hero because they improve our dust on terrain of river, but we don't have any rivers. Actually, we're close to a river. Although the Broken Lord's hero is not immediately that good. It takes a while for it to become a good governor. We could even get another Morgawr hero, though I doubt that's going to be our choice. Yeah. The thing about these Alai heroes is that they're not great governors, I don't think. Science bonus hero. So I guess Strike's Fall is my choice. We can think about getting Kapaku hero on the volcanic tiles we have on the neighboring areas. Although volcanic is less desirable for us, but we might want to pick it up at some point, and then we have a Kapaku hero as a possible choice. Obviously, these heroes are really strong, although they're only really strong once you have a bunch of population units already in your city. So the cult heroes are really good, but I'm just going to stick with the necrophage hero here. That means we're going to bleed a lot of dust, though. It's not something I'm thrilled about, but yeah, I'll just take it as it comes. Let's get the settler out a bit sooner. We do want to pick up pearls. Picking up the Altar of Origa is pretty nice because it's just basically a better borrower in the early game. Doesn't cost you any happiness. Actually gains you happiness. How's that for you here? Now we're gonna bounce over there, then probably bounce over there. I assume bouncing is sort of the thing they do. We can even get another burrow here, though that will knock our happiness down a bit more. This burrow can't actually be upgraded. So our happiness is going to suffer a bit in the city, but I think it did make a good choice in locating it here for improving our city's production at the start of the game. And frequently your first city doesn't end up even being your best city. I just want to make sure I can keep this on the right weather. Yeah, I'm really being punished for attacking that poor fortress. What did they ever do to me, you know? What did they ever do to me? Okay, we've picked the settler. We can send it over here. The question is, where do we actually want to land it? Possibly want to land it somewhere like here, close to those anomalies, which would be the other side. So in that case, we're going to go like this. We're probably going to move our hero over here. Think about diving down. I'm just bouncing it around a bit so I can scout a bit more before I... Because basically when you search curiosities, or search temple ruins, or search undersea ruins, you lose all your movement points because you're diving. At least that's the flavor of it. I can just put them all in food, or I can put them all in dust to stop us bleeding dust. I'm not sure which is best, actually. Nice dust is defensible, although food is also important. The question is, how long do we think the winter's going to go on? Because if it goes on for 10 turns, we're going to lose 300 dust, and that's ridiculous, so I guess I'm not going to go for that. We're just sending the ship down. And let's see. Weather report for the 5. I think we still have to stop on this tile. I think. I may be getting that wrong. We have to get some titanium, right? We're building up titanium from our fortress we have, so we'll get that pretty soon. In the meantime, I want to just get these pearls. Getting pearls on the sea is actually quite easy for us. Yeah. Cool, we control all fortresses in the sea. We don't want to control all the fortresses. If we get too aggressive about this, we might not be able to complete our quest. But getting glass, steel, and titanium production at this point in the game is not bad. And I think that might be a decent place to stop the Let's Play. Again, I haven't played definitely hadn't been, or stopped this episode. I don't want to finish this, but anyway. So definitely have been a bit sloppy in this playthrough, but I think we really got off to the sort of start that this kind of faction really needs, and that is just making sure that we're not getting crushed off the board very soon, and that has to do a lot with just being on an island on our own, having lots of sea regions we can colonize nearby, and I think we can really show off some of the economic powers of this faction in the coming episodes. So join me for the next episode of this Let's Play as the Morgawr in Endless Legend, as I continue to probably do well with factions I expected to do badly with. So thanks again for joining me, and consider subscribing if you learned or enjoyed something about this episode. See you next time. All the best.